What damage, then, do we know has been done, Anthony, to the Qatari installations?
Good morning. Yeah, that's right. The Qatar's Ras Laffan area was hit last night, and that's a huge area which has multiple LNG export trains. So these are the facilities, lots of pipes, lots of high pressure towers where they take the gas, natural gas extracted from Qatar's biggest offshore field in the world for natural gas. They take that gas, compress it, and cool it down so that it can be turned to liquid and then put on ships. So those are highly complex facilities, very susceptible to damage if any of those pipes or pressure units are damaged. They also have there the Pearl GTL plant, which is a plant run by Shell. At the time when that was built over a decade ago, that was the single biggest investment in Qatar's energy industry by one company at one time. That was sustained severe damage, according to Qatar Energy, the state company, and as well as Shell, which has just said it's assessing damage at the facility. So we have some damage at various facilities there between the LNG as well as the gas. Of course, that field, the Qatar's North Field, is the Qatari side of what Iran calls South Bars. So that is the world's largest field, and that was what was attacked by Israeli military yesterday, and that sparked the retaliation by Qatar on the gas field and on U.S. interests as well. Of course, ExxonMobil is one of the U.S. companies that's a big shareholder in some of those facilities in Qatar. In fact, Qatar Energy even named one of their biggest LNG carriers after Rex Tillerson, the former Exxon CEO and former U.S. Secretary of State.
Anthony, can you help us explain what's happening in terms of the spread widening, the gapping that we're seeing in terms of prices between Brent and WTI?
Yeah, of course, the gas prices are shooting up on this, not because any fuel is getting out of the Persian Gulf. Of course, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, largely closed. There are some Iranian vessels getting through, and the Iranians have let some vessels go to other countries. But things like LNG are not getting through the Persian Gulf, so they're not being exported to markets. But what traders are really watching here are the prospects for a quick startup for Gulf energy facilities should the Strait of Hormuz be opened. That's been a major focus of the military campaign, of politicians talking about when they can get Hormuz open and how they can get it open. But if we're seeing damage to facilities there, that's going to mean repairs. That's going to mean facilities out for longer periods of time. And that's really what's influencing those prices as traders see some damage come through. They are seeing a longer outage there because of damage. And it still remains unclear when Hormuz would even open anyway. So we're still in very unclear waters here.